Guys, what does it take to start climbing up my list of favorite knife companies? Well, you got to make a good knife, and then you got to do it again. That's all it takes. But I'm going to tell you what, this company has jumped way up towards the top of my list of favorite companies. We're going to take a look at another great Kunwu knife. All right, guys, by now, after the couple of times we've had these blue boxes on the channel, you should know that there's going to be something cool here. This is the Kunwu Knives Chad. And I do have to tell you, let's get the box out of the way first. This knife is currently unavailable. I'm pretty sure there's going to be another run of these, so you have to keep your eyes open for it. I just couldn't not do this. This came from a subscriber, actually one of my paying members, for me to review. This thing is absolutely amazing. It did not make as big an impression on me as this one did. This is the Kunwu Django, which just because, well, it's sexy. Functionally, though, this is the better of the two knives. So just because of the blade shape and everything, it is a much more functional knife. The Django is a good knife aesthetically. This is a workhorse. So this is done in PM60 steel, titanium scales. It's done in an Axis style crossbar lock with some of the best thumb studs or thumb plates you're going to find on a knife. The texturing on it's great in and out of pocket. So let's get some specs out of the way real quick. Let's get the boring stuff, we'll do some specs and some size comparison. Just checked Blade HQ. This knife is listed as coming soon. So you are looking at an overall length of 7.6 inches, blade length of 3.35 inches. It is in PM60 steel at 68 to 69 Rockwell. I got to tell you, this thing held its edge insanely well. It is a 4.52 ounce knife, like I said, crossbar Axis style lock. And it is a flat edged blade because it's a sheep's foot. Those are the specs that they have on Blade HQ. So let's go ahead. We'll get this centered here and we'll do some quick size comparison. Your first knife for comparison is Spyderco PM2. You guys are going to know that. Most of you guys have seen one of these. Your next knife for size comparison, Benchmade 940, probably the best, most well-known knife in the knife community and knife industry. And your final knife, as always, Chris Reese-Benz, a large 21. We do these size comparisons because I can tell you the blade length and size all day and you still won't have it as a good reference. So we do these size references. Let's get this out of the way and talk about how good this knife is. So when this came in, I'd heard a few people talk about how good this knife is. This thing is probably one of the better made knives I've had come in a very long time. Just everything all around, fit and finish, blade grind, the heat treat, the way it cuts, the way it holds its edge, all of that, and then the feel in hand. So this is a beautifully done sheep's foot in PM60 steel. That is a steel I had not had any dealings with, but I found to be incredibly good. This edge that I put on it after I had used it a bunch and I actually chipped the blade in a spot, this is incredibly resilient. I cut up more stuff with this and cut up more wood with this than most of the other folding knives that I had come into the channel. The edge profile on it's really good. It takes an incredibly toothy edge at about the 800 grit range. That's what I did this on, and I stropped it on EDC and Lacey's stropping compound that she sent me, which is I think it is a 9 micron, and it's just perfect for edge maintenance. It does a really good job on this. You want a diamond material with this, and you're going to want to sharpen this on diamond because 68 Rockwell is insane on this. The checkering on this, not only is it attractive, and the micro milling as well here, not only is it attractive and very well done, but it gives you just about the right amount of grip. You can see right here, all that milling and stuff that you have in those areas, they're just grippy enough to give you traction, but also not be uncomfortable or sharp. No problem in and out of pocket, even with this diamond pattern that's milled into it. They're not as sharp as they look. They're actually really, really comfortable in hand. The pocket clip is just a dream. And the cool thing is, you guys remember I talked about it. They send along the tools to take it apart and a different pocket clip. This is a very, very good pocket clip. If this is the style pocket clip you want, as opposed to this milled clip, this has one of those bent wire clips that just wraps around and you can just put it in. It screws right into the same spot. Please note, there are shorter screws in here. Use the shorter screw for the other clip because you will wind up getting the blade into it. The pocket clip, I like this one. I find this to just be about perfect. Super comfortable in hand. There is no hot spot. The contour of the handle is just perfect. Get your hand in there and you can get all the way up on this, right up on that area right here, and do some heavy cutting. The thumb discs on this, the thumb plates, the thumb studs, beautiful. I find them to be just about perfect for deployment on this knife. You can just really get on it. It is an axis style lock, so that means it is ambidextrous, and so is the pocket clip. As you can see, that's where your pocket clip, the other pocket clip, sits down in as well, because it's milled into this piece as well. So the posts for the axis lock, I don't know why, this just makes it so much better. And you're going to be more inclined to using both of them. One of the problems with an axis lock is people will deploy from one side or the other, and then you weaken a spring on one side. With these, it just feels natural to get on both of them. Sometimes with the small little post, you'll just hit one or the other, and then you cause that issue. All the milling and machining on this is done beautifully. The action on this, really, really smooth. You can see that it has got a full steel liner on it. That all your parts are enclosed in here for your axis lock, so you don't have to worry about when you take it apart only one piece is going to come out and then you got to like take the other little pieces out. You can just take the whole plate out. It's got some really, really clean lines. The jimping on it is functional, good, crisp, functional jimping. And then they did a really good stonewash finish on this that has held up really, really well. I cut a lot of cardboard with this, and a lot of wood. I cut more wood with this, like I said, than I typically do with a pocket knife, because I just found that the edge that it had, just I wanted to see how much more wood it would cut. And when I say wood, I usually get some hardwood dowel rods, some oak or something like that, and I cut those dowel rods and I make tent stakes and stuff like that with it. And this did a great job. But the other thing that I did with it, as you can see, I might have to touch up the edge. The forward edge is all screwed up. I cut a lot of cardboard, like just screaming through cardboard, cutting strips on a wood block, just cutting it into strips with this. And I wanted to see how it would hold up. And it definitely held its edge incredibly well. PM60 steel, I'm pretty impressed with it so far in this knife. So all that being said, great knife. They will be coming soon. I made sure I put a graphic. There'll be a link down below to the coming soon so that you guys can check them out. And I'll make sure I do a quick update on my community post. So there are a couple things I'm not over the moon about on this knife, and we'll talk about those right after you guys hear from video sponsor.
Guys, you've heard me talk about Coffee Brand Coffee a bunch of times. I'm going to do it again real quick. Coffee Brand Coffee is a channel sponsor. They are a great company sponsoring small channels like mine, but they also are a guilt-free purchase because they do not practice any politics. They have a money-back guarantee, and they roast their coffee on demand. So if you're interested in it, my link down below in the videos saves you 10% at checkout, sometimes more depending on what they've got going on as far as specials and sales. So go check them out. Great product. Thank you very much for sponsoring the channel, Coffee Brand Coffee. Let's get back to the knife.
So not much really on this. The big one is the weight on this, because it does have a full steel liner. This is a heavy knife. I'm not gonna lie. For the size of the knife, it's not overly heavy, but it's pretty heavy. It's pretty dense. Had they just done some weight reduction in those liners, I think it would have done a lot better in pocket as far as like just saving some weight, because that can put people off, especially if you're wearing shorts or something, basketball shorts. Definitely heavy for in that pocket. Next thing, the blade has got, it's not completely straight. Can you guys see it's already got a bit of a recurve in this area? You can see it better looking. Let's see, can I get in on it? How am I gonna, let's see here. Let's zoom in. You can look down the blade and see that it's got a bit of a recurve here and then a high spot, especially like right there. So it's already developing a smile from about here up to this point. So that grind, I would like to see that plunge come out, maybe make sure that there's no change in thickness. I didn't measure it, but you can definitely see that it's starting to pick up a smile to it. And then the last thing, I mentioned the screws. There's no information in the box, and I checked the box of the Django because that came directly to me from Kunwu via a friend. And there's no information telling you that you need to change the screw. The thought process for most of us is, if I take this screw out, I'm going to put it right back in with the other pocket clip. And it's not that easy because it sticks out, and you definitely will slam into that screw because it sticks out. And this screw would fit. So, I mean, it's just a little bit of documentation in the box. If you're going to have something like that with multiple parts, either make the screws interchangeable, maybe socket this down a little further so that it sits in further, or provide documentation and stuff just to clear up the confusion on the replacement and the swapping of parts. And then the final thing I would say is, I wish that the detent, I wish the springs on this were a little bit stronger, because it does not, you can't flip it. And that is the downside of these. As much as I like these, the Django has that as well. Where I put my finger, I'm blocking it from reverse flick. I can do it, but I just wish there was a little bit more detent. That is one of the downsides of some of the Axis style locks. But with all that being said, I absolutely recommend this knife wholeheartedly. The steel that it's in, different steel, really resilient, really good edge retention, hard as coffin nails. Awesome knife. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and I'll send you out about your day.
Guys, this was the first of the Kunwu knives. The Chad, this is, for as gorgeous as the Django is, this is every bit as good, but even more functional than that one. That one is just, it's epically gorgeous. Still a really good knife. It doesn't take a lot, like I said, to get on my list of companies that are in, that I really like. You just got to make good knives. I don't care where you're making them. I don't care who's designing them. I really don't care. As long as they're good material, good machining. So that's it on this one, guys. You know, there was an ad in the video. That means I've got sponsors. The sponsor links are down below. Take those links, look at them, check out the Coffee Brand Coffee stuff. They're an amazing sponsor. Non-political, they don't take a stance either way, money back guarantee, and you save 10% with my link. Same thing with Tempered Trail. I have affiliate links down below for most of the major vendors. If you're going to buy knives, please use those. It supports the channel. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. That's the same with my Amazon store. Take that link, pin it to your browser, use it for all the Amazon shopping you're going to do. Makes Jeff Bezos pay me a little bit at your checkout. Doesn't cost you anything extra. There's a coupon code that you can use, 40% off at Beyond EDC, 10% at Rosecraft Blades, 10% at Fair & Forge Knife Works, and 10% at KATSU Knives. That coupon code is crazysharp, all one word, all lowercase. Saves you a lot of money at checkout. And I have got a membership down below. Join it. I do exclusive content, premium sharpening tutorial series for the top tier guys. I do giveaways, and there's a private Discord. Plus, there is a public Discord linked down below for everybody to use. If you got questions, you want to reach out to me, you want to get something on the channel, you can hit me up in the DM section there. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment sections. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.